Welcome, learners, to another deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating, sometimes pretty unsettling narrative. We've got an excerpt here from a chapter called Strange GM6.pdf. So, our mission today is basically to unpack this first-person story, this single intense day. We're going to follow the narrator, look at the people he meets, feel that tension building up, and then, look at this shocking climax. It's not just what happens, right? It's how the place, the narrator's own state of mind, even tiny details, how they all kind of work together to create this really significant moment.
Exactly. And what's so compelling, I think, is how it pulls you in. You experience the day right alongside him. You get these vivid sensory details, these hints about what's going on underneath, but it's not spelled out.
Yeah.
We'll explore how all these little things build this sense of almost inevitability, even though the main event seemed to come out of nowhere.
Okay, let's get into it then. Right at the start, the narrator's mood, it just jumps out. He says he's completely drained, got a slight headache, even a funeral face. That's quite a starting point.
It really is. It sets this melancholic tone right away, establishes this kind of detachment. And then you get the sharp contrast with Marie. She's in her white dress, laughing, seemingly full of joy.
Yeah, that difference is stark.
It really highlights how differently he seems to experience the world compared to others around him, even from the get-go.
And then Raymond shows up. Seems cheerful enough, right? But the narrator has this immediate, almost physical reaction to his clothes, his shirt, his trousers, and especially his forearms. Finds them a little repulsive. That's such a strong feeling about something so, well, normal. What do you make of that?
It's fascinating, isn't it? It feels like a little clue, maybe, about his inner state, like a sort of hypersensitivity, maybe, where even small things trigger this negative response. It makes you wonder, what's going on inside? What biases are there? How does he see people even before anything major happens? Suggests he's already kind of wound up.
Definitely. And speaking of things already happening, we find out pretty quickly about the day before. The narrator gave testimony for Raymond at the police station. Got him off with just a warning, something about a girl who cheated on him.
Right. And that piece of information is crucial. It immediately adds this layer, this backstory. It paints Raymond as someone who, might be looking for payback.
And it shows the narrator isn't just a bystander. He's involved.
He's entangled in Raymond's business. It's not just a casual meetup. There's history there, consequences.
And that history seems to walk right up to them soon after. They see a group that text identifies as Arabs. The description is quite specific. Staring in silence, like they were stones or dead trees. Now, just to be clear for everyone listening, we're looking at the language used in this document, how it functions in the story. We're not endorsing these descriptions ourselves.
Absolutely. It's about analyzing the text we have. And that description, that gaze described as empty, it's chilling. It really sets up this feeling of conflict, an undercurrent of tension. Raymond spots his man, says it's settled, but clearly it isn't.
Marie's confused, and the narrator just says, basically, they've got a problem with Raymond. Very blunt.
That bluntness again. And the silence, the way the gaze is described, it kind of foreshadows the impersonal violence later on, doesn't it? It's quiet, but really heavy.
So after that encounter and the bus ride, the mood shifts again when they get to the beach. The descriptions change. Yellowish rocks, white flowers, the motionless sea, this drowsy-looking headland. It sounds peaceful.
It does. It's like a pause button is hit, a moment of relief, almost idyllic. But knowing what we know now, it feels like a false calm, lulling you and maybe him before things turn again.
They get to Masson's place, this cool little bungalow built into the rocks right over the water. Masson's this big guy. His wife is plump, sweet, Parisian accent. They seem welcoming, offer them fish.
It's a little domestic bubble, isn't it? Comforting, almost. And it's interesting how Masson immediately says he likes the narrator. He liked me, the narrator notes. That's a rare moment of acceptance for him.
Yeah, and then comes this really surprising thought from the narrator. He sees Marie laughing with Madame Masson and thinks, for the first time maybe, I really thought I was going to get married.
Whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
That feels like such a detour from his usual mindset.
It's incredibly telling. Because it's so out of character, based on what we've seen, it hints at this fleeting desire, maybe, for something normal, a conventional life. It's like a tiny crack opens up, showing a different possibility, which makes the ending even more, well, tragic.
And there are other moments of connection too, right?
Yeah.
During the swim, he feels the sun is good for him. Swimming with Marie, they feel close, happy.
Yeah.
Later, she wants to kiss him. They're in the water. He feels her legs around him. He wanted her.
Those moments are really important. They show he can feel connection, intimacy, physical closeness. It's rare for him, this flicker of happiness, of just being present and connected.
Which makes the shift afterwards even starker.
Absolutely. It stands out against the detachment, making the darkness that follows feel even heavier.
Because that happiness, it doesn't last long.
Yeah.
After lunch, they go for a walk, and things turn. The sun is brutal now. Yeah. Almost directly overhead. The glare on the water, unbearable. The beach is empty. The heat off the rocks makes it hard to breathe.
Yes, the environment becomes hostile. That description is key. The heat, the glare, it's not just background anymore. It's creating physical discomfort, and you feel it ramping up the psychological tension. It's oppressive.
And adding to that, we learn Raymond and Masson go way back, even lived together.
Mm-hmm. That deepens their connection, suggests a shared history, maybe secrets that the narrator isn't part of, another layer of potential isolation for him.
And then they see them again, far down the beach. Two men in blue overalls. The Arabs. Raymond says it immediately. It's him.
So the conflict wasn't left behind. It's back. That earlier tension just snaps back into focus. It wasn't resolved at all.
And Raymond instantly has a plan, like he's rehearsed it. Yep. If there's trouble, Masson, you take the other one. I'll take care of my man. Then to the narrator, Mersault, if another one shows up, he's yours.
Chilling.
And the narrator just says yes.
That readiness for violence, assigning roles like that, it's cold. And the narrator's, yes, it's so passive, isn't it? Just accepting his part in whatever happens next. He doesn't question it, just falls in line.
The fight happens fast. It's brutal. Raymond hits his guy first. Masson hits the other one, who falls face down in the water. There's this image of bubbles bursting on the surface.
Grim.
But they fight back. One pulls a knife, slashes Raymond's arm and mouth.
It's sudden, sharp violence. Not drawn out, almost matter of fact. That detail about the bubbles. It's stark. It reinforces the chaos, the danger, but also maybe the impersonality of it all.
So they get Raymond back to the bungalow. The narrator stays to deal with the women. They're crying, very pale. But what does he do? He says he didn't like having to explain, so he just shut up, smoked a cigarette, and looked at the sea.
Wow. That's just peak detachment, isn't it? Zero attempt at comfort, no emotional engagement when people are clearly distressed. It's another stark example of him just operating on a completely different frequency.
Then Raymond comes back from the doctor. He's bandaged, looks grim. He wants to go back to the beach. Alone. Says he needs air. Gets angry when Masson, the narrator, offer to come.
Yeah, that's a clear sign, isn't it? He's not done. The anger is still there. He wants more confrontation.
But the narrator follows him anyway, even though Raymond told him not to.
And that's significant, too. Why does he follow? It feels less like a choice and more like being pulled along, drawn back towards the conflict zone.
They find the two Arabs again. By a spring this time, looking perfectly calm, almost content. One is playing a little tune on a reed flute.
That image of calm, the flute, it must be incredibly jarring after the violence. A really strange, quiet moment before things escalate again.
Raymond has his gun now. He wants to shoot his guy, right then and there. But the narrator steps in, sort of, says something odd. He hasn't said anything yet. He's pretty lousy to shoot him like that. Then he takes the gun from Raymond, says he'll shoot if the Arab draws his knife or if the other one makes a move. What's going on there? Is that morality?
That's a huge moment. It's really ambiguous. He does intervene, takes the gun, which shifts the immediate potential for violence onto him. But his reason? Pretty lousy. I think it doesn't sound like a strong moral stance. More like an observation about, I don't know, the form of the thing. Like it wouldn't be proper procedure.
It's weirdly detached logic.
And the whole scene is soaked in this silence, right? The double silence of the flute and the water, it just hangs there, heavy with possibility.
Eventually the Arabs back off. Raymond and the narrator turn away. Seems like it's over. But then the narrator turns back, alone, walks back towards the beach, towards the spring. The text emphasizes the heat again. The sun is overpowering, dazzling red glare. He feels his forehead swelling. It feels like he's compelled.
It really does. This feels like the turning point. His decision, if you can call it that, to go back alone. And the way the environment is described, the heat, the light, the sea, gasping, it's like it's physically pushing him, overwhelming his senses, maybe his will.
He finds the guy again. Raymond's man. The one with the knife earlier. He's alone, lying in the shade by a rock. The man puts his hand in his pocket. The narrator grips the gun. And then this perception. The narrator sees the man, and it looked like he was laughing.
That perceived laugh, whether it was real or just how he interpreted it in that state, that could be the spark,
Yeah.
pushing him past detachment into this state of almost sensory hallucination, triggered by the heat, the glare, the tension.
You really feel his internal state mirroring the external pressure. He thinks about turning around, but he feels the whole beach throbbing and the sun was pressing on my back. He takes one step forward, says he knew it was stupid.
Exactly, that feeling of being pushed, not deciding, but being propelled by the sun, the heat, the beach itself. It challenges that whole idea of rational choice. It suggests maybe he's lost agency, become almost an instrument of the environment.
And then it happens. The Arab draws the knife, the light flashes off the steel, described like a long, flashing blade cutting at my forehead. His eyes are blinded by sweat and tears, salt. He feels symbols of sunlight crashing on my forehead, a dazzling spear from the knife. Everything starts to reel.
It's pure sensory overload, described with such intensity it's almost hallucinatory. The light, the heat, the physical sensations, the scorching blade, it all builds to this unbearable point. The environment itself feels like the final aggressor.
The trigger gives. That sound,
Yeah.
sharp and deafening, and he says, that's where it all started.
Yeah.
He knows instantly. He's shattered the harmony of the day, the exceptional silence of a beach where I'd been happy.
That awareness, right after the first shot, he recognizes the rupture.
And then he fires 4 more times into the motionless body, compares it to knocking 4 quick times on the door of unhappiness.
That shift from the first shot to the next four, that's significant. It goes beyond any possible self-defense. It feels deliberate, final. And that last image, knocking on the door of unhappiness, it's so chillingly detached, yet aware of the profound consequence. A door opened, that can't be closed.
So, yeah, we followed this day from these small feelings of unease through these encounters, this building pressure, all the way to this sudden, irreversible act of violence. A journey where the place, the past, the people, it all just seems to converge.
It really does. This deep dive into this chapter, Strange Cheat Acts 6.pdf, it shows how narrative can build psychological depth through this kind of precise, almost cold observation. Those sensory details, especially the sun, the heat, they become almost like another character, pushing the narrator in ways that make you question simple ideas about motive.
We saw those brief moments of connection, but mostly this profound detachment, hints of these background conflicts, and then this final shocking act leaves you with a lot to think about.
Definitely. So for you listening, what does this deep dive suggest about why the narrator did what he did? Was he just overwhelmed by it all, by the heat, the circumstances, a victim in a way? Or were his choices ultimately his own? And how do you make sense of that calm, that almost chilling clarity as he describes something so devastating? What does that tell you?